You ready? Let's roll it. Raising kids is hard, no matter where you are in the world. But raising African kids in the United States is a whole different level of challenge. As African immigrant parents, we're trying to hold on to our values, our cultures, and our identity while raising kids in a society that sees the world very differently. And if you've ever felt stuck between two cultures, worried about your kids growing too American, or struggle to discipline without feeling guilty, this video is for you. In this segment, I'll be breaking down 7 major challenges that we face as African immigrant parents raising our kids in the United States. And more importantly, I'll be sharing some real practical solutions that can help you handle each one of these challenges. Challenge number 4, disciplining across cultures. Let's talk about one of the most difficult and sometimes one of the most controversial topics, discipline. Now, if you grew up in Africa, you will agree with me that in most African homes, discipline was strict, it was direct, and it was sometimes physical. That's what we knew. We were taught that spare the rod, spoil the child. And guess what? For many of us, that was not abuse. It was correction. It was discipline. It was just how parenting worked. But here in the US, it's a completely different story. Corporal punishment is not only discouraged, it can actually get you into some legal trouble, serious legal trouble. And more importantly, the culture here views discipline through a completely different lens. One that emphasizes emotional safety, open communication, and child's right. When African parents try to discipline the way they were raised, it can backfire big time. Kids might push back, shut down emotionally, or even threaten to call 911 if they feel scared or being misunderstood. And it's not just about the legal risk. It's about the breakdown in the parent-child relationship. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to break down that relationship, because that can have us feeling helpless, frustrated, and even disrespected. And for some parents, that feeling of defeat runs so deep, and it pushes them to make the decision to send their kids back to Africa, hoping that they'll reconnect with their roots and perhaps learn discipline the right way. And yes, sometimes it does work. Some kids come back more grounded, more respectful, and with a better understanding of where they come from, a better understanding of their roots. But let's be honest, it doesn't always work. Sometimes the child comes back more angry, more distant, and even rebellious. And in some heartbreaking cases, it even leads to legal troubles or legal battles, especially if the child feels abandoned or reports mistreatment overseas. So it's a balance that we have to be very careful, because it's not a guaranteed solution. And it's definitely not a solution that you want to make, especially if the only influence is frustration. You should not be pushed to send your kids to Africa just because you're frustrated. If you have very good grounding reasons for doing that to help them reconnect with their roots, of course in communication with them, that's fine. But let it not be as a result of you being frustrated with the environment, with their behaviors. Because if that's the only drive, sometimes, and a very, very big 50%, there's a chance it would work. But if it doesn't, it can really backfire big time. So you must consider all the resources you have available here in the United States to be better parents, for you to be able to understand your kids, the system, discipline in this environment. And the question is, so how do we set boundaries and raise respectful kids without losing control or compromising our values? The first thing is to remember that discipline is not about punishment. Discipline is about teaching. Our primary job is to guide our kids, not to break them, not to force them. Our primary job is to guide them. You can still be firm, and of course you should still have rules, but use non-violent techniques. There's timeout. Take away their privileges. Have structured conversations about behavior, choices, and consequences. Let them know that certain behaviors might lead to certain consequences. It's not enough to tell your kid, because I said so. Think about it. You saying, I don't want you to behave like this because it's not safe and because I care about you. Think about that. Not just all the time letting them say, oh, because mama said so, because daddy said so. Change the language. I don't want you to behave in this way or that way because it doesn't feel safe. And I only tell you this, I only guide you in this direction because I care about you. That small change in language, in approach, goes a long way to build trust. We must take those small steps in approaching discipline. And if you're struggling with this, I want to assure you, you're not alone. Many of us were not raised with emotional parenting tools. But here's the good news. We can learn. We can learn. So don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. We're talking about your kids here. If it means for you to learn, I assure you that you can and you should learn. Don't give your kids away to the society. Don't give your kids away to the environment. Don't throw in the towel. Don't throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm frustrated, I'm defeated, it's over. Never give up. If there is one more thing you think you have not done, please do not give up on your kids. Do that one thing you think you have not done and save your kids and help your kids as you help yourself. Find out in your community. There could be parenting classes. There could be parenting groups. There could be books that mainly focus on African immigrant parents. Learning doesn't make you weak. It makes you wiser and braver. And if you will do it for your kid, kudos to you, parent. Because that's the only way to show them that you care. That's the only way to actually show them that you are brave enough to go the extra mile. And above all, you do not have to give up your values for anything. Do not give up your values. All you need to do, change some of the old methods that you know. Just adapt to methods that fit this context.